Exactly.
There you go. You don't know what to do with your hands?
No.
So it's Labor Day. Did you do any? On Labor Day, you're not supposed to do any labor, right? That's the whole point of the
I didn't.
holiday.
Nah.
Yeah.
I had my son all weekend, so basically I hung out with him. Basically, it's just walking behind him, telling him no.
Yeah.
And then, so this morning I had to take him back at 11. So took him back and then went back to my house. And then, of course, my dad wanted to grill out. So sit there and watched him do that. I really did nothing, to be honest.
Is it considered labor if you beat off? Is that a?
I did do that.
It's negative.
Negative.
I did do that.
That's more of a.
That's a pressure release valve.
Yeah,
that's A-okay. Whatever helps you relax more on Labor Day, then go for it.
But what if you do it 10 times in a row?
All the more reason, fuck it.
But my arm is sore.
I was just
I'm
making.
not, 10 times my dick would be red.
It's like if you just do dumbbells on one arm.
I was just making sure I wasn't breaking any rules.
No, you're not breaking any rules. I'm doing 16-ounce curls right now.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are.
Is it like share live?
Yep.
Cool. Holla.
Just try to keep it on mute.
No, I'm just going to share it.
So,
I'm going to share it and close it.
unfortunately, Anthony couldn't be here. He had to labor on Labor Day.
He did. He did have to. He's breaking the rules of labor and.
And the
whatever.
the other thing too, I didn't think that it was going to make such a splash with that picture of the pregnancy test.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to build up to when there's pregnancy, eventually there's labor,
Right.
and then hence you get Labor Day,
Right.
But I feel like all I did was I just sent something to where someone thought someone's pregnant on the show.
Yeah,
Well
then you have all my retarded friends that want stew babies. They're just biting at the bit for me to procreate for some reason. So
Dude, I get that from every angle.
Yeah.
Right now. It's
this is the worst whenever it's from your mother, right? It's like,
yes.
It's like when am I gonna have grandbabies?
That's my sweet old grandmother too. I'm like, oh man, oh god.
It's always harping for grandbabies.
Yes. Absolutely. What y'all should have done is left that picture up of the pregnancy test, and then after all those questions, just ghost everybody. Just not say a thing.
Right.
Yeah, dude, that
Attention
pregnancy
grabber,
test
getting right back in.
might have been the best thing that you ever done. There's people trying to analyze, like, is that a stock photo? And I'm like,
It was a stock photo.
yeah, but what the fuck does that mean?
Stock photo means stock is something you can pull from somewhere else. It's like
Well, it was obviously, I'm not saying no names, but you know who you are.
you calling her out.
Yeah. I was like, what are you even talking about? Like, nobody's pregnant.
Nobody.
It's 4 dudes. We wouldn't broadcast it that way anyway.
Right.
Right. Like, fucking retards. Well, look at this.
Clayton's pregnant.
So everybody say hi to Troy
Permanently.
Baker. Troy Baker is our guest.
Troy fucking
tonight.
Baker.
What's up?
Troy,
Baby
motherfucking
boy.
What's up?
Unfortunately, Anthony couldn't be here tonight. Again, he had to work on Labor Day.
He's laboring on
So
Labor Day.
unfortunate.
Don't worry, bud. I'll keep your seat warm.
All right, you guys have to do one more thing. Just converse. I have to fix something. Go ahead. amongst
Chuck
yourselves.
Norris can slam a revolving door.
Chuck Norris's daughter lost her virginity. He got it back.
Chuck Norris is the only man alive that can roundhouse kick you in the back of the face.
The Grim Reaper looks underneath his bed for Chuck Norris.
I'm pretty sure it was a boogeyman, but I know what you were going for.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Superman wears Chuck Norris pajamas.
God, what was that one, dude? I heard one the other day, and I think I sent it to you.
Chuck Norris killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Chuck Norris killed 2 stones with 1 bird.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad.
It really hurts.
I know, but we're doing this shit off the fly. So
I know. Normally, Clayton has a whole list of these on his
I know.
phone.
How many push-ups can Chuck Norris do?
All of them.
Exactly.
All right.
Right.
All right, we're good now.
Oh, I love how we have to fill something and they go immediately at Chuck Norris jokes.
That's awesome.
Well, whenever we start
amazing.
drinking, whenever we were working together, we'd be drinking all the time.
Yeah.
And we just have lists of them. We'd Google Chuck Norris jokes. Just go back. There's a billion of these fucking things.
Yeah, 100%.
Chuck Norris created rap when his heart started bleeding. Thanks for that, James.
Oh yeah, Chuck Norris jacked off in the shower. 9 months later, the Ninja Turtles were born.
Nice.
All right. All right.
All right, so everybody, welcome Troy Breaker. Breaker?
Breaker.
Baker?
Breakering up.
Troy Baker.
That's right.
That's a tough name to say.
Troy fucking Baker.
No, sorry, Troy fucking Baker.
Yeah, I respond to most of them. You know, Choi is a big. Everyone says Choi when they're talking real fast or they're yelling.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have given you like Bach Troy. That would have been your
That's
nickname.
good. Okay.
for me.
Bach Troy?
Yeah.
Bach
if I grew up
Troy.
with you.
Bach Troy.
everyone kind of stuck with T-Roy.
T-Roy.
It's really redneck, and it
T-Roy.
worked out. Yeah, it was kind of my dad's thing.
Well, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You've been one of our biggest cheerleaders so far.
That's right.
Which is really awesome. Really
Rah, rah.
appreciate the
Literally
support.
the biggest cheerleader.
62305, baby.
Yeah,
Come on.
no shit. He's a mountain.
So one thing I've got to ask, and I love asking people, what is your 9-to-5 job? What do
My
you
9
do?
to 5, I pay the mortgage. I'm a landscape
Landscape.
design, demo, and install. We don't do any maintenance stuff. No mowing, no weed whacking. You know, some of the bigger jobs we've done, we'll go back and trim hedges and stuff and do flowers and whatnot. But mostly it's full redo. So let's say you wanted yours done. We'd rip all your old shit out of the front of the house, bring in new material, new plants, whatever, and just revamp the place.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I left the oil field and I went with a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, Ricky Philippi, who owns a flood and fire recovery service.
What's that company name?
Water Wizard
Yeah, that's what
is
it
what he
is.
worked for. Yeah, and Ricky's a great dude, but kind of difficult to work with. Plus, the work wasn't really there all the time. So my nest egg that I'd saved up from the oil field kind of dwindled, and I was like, got to a point where I was like, fuck, dude, I got to do something else. And he put me in touch with this guy, Josh Hofer, who have become really good friends with. The guy's awesome. And I know his brother, Matt. Matt graduated in 2002, and I played high school football with him. So I kind of knew the Hofers and never really knew Josh much. But Josh is, Ricky got with Josh. Josh, called me and said, hey, I need some help. You need the work. Let's
How
do
old
this."
were you?
Oh, this was 3 summers ago.
3 summers ago. So you just recently came into it.
29, 30, something like that. Yeah, just recently. And I love the work. It's really, it's the summertime is, it's a bitch.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. And the pay is not the best, but it's the most straightforward gig I've ever had in my life. And I am madly in love with it.
So that's your 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
But would you say that's who you really are?
In a sense, yeah. In a sense, yeah. I mean, because I'm a bit of a creationist. I love to just make things from nothing, and
100%.
that really opens a lot of doors. Now, granted, Josh handles most of the design stuff, but there's a lot of little small twerks and stuff that I get to put my personal touch on, especially these jobs that he hands over to me for me to do by myself. So I kind of get the general idea of what he's got on paper, and if I need to make some tweaks and adjustments or whatever, I get to do that. So I get a lot of freedom with my job, and it's not like there's no corporate bullshit either.
Right,
That's
right,
the
right.
best part. It's me and Josh, and now his, I guess, brother-in-law Toby.
It seems to be a lot of people are trying to get away from that corporate bullshit.
It is so
nowadays.
awesome, dude. It is. I cannot tell you how awesome this. It's like a fresh breath air or a cold drink of water.
Yeah.
On a hot day.
Right.
Being able to know I go to work. These are my work shorts. I wear basketball shorts to work and a
Yeah.
Columbia shirt, and just like I said, it's the most straightforward gig ever.
Do you feel like you have a more degree of freedom?
Absolutely.
You don't have to
Absolutely.
wake up and put on the monkey suit. You don't have to put on some type of suit
Front.
and tie.
Especially where he came from, the oil field. PPE, FRs, H2S monitor,
Well,
hard
and
hat.
before that, I was a jeweler. I worked at a jewelry store, which, I was an actual bench jeweler, but it's a family-owned company. They didn't just keep me chained up in the back. I had to stop what I was doing constantly, go up and greet customers and talk about new builds or sell watch, blah, blah, blah,
I
whatever.
can see you chained up in the back. But,
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Clay, for the listeners that don't know what you just said, PR.
FR, fire retardant, like clothes. In the oil field, you got to wear them. You got to wear
retard.
retardant. You got to have an H2S monitor right close to your face. Most people put them on their hard hats, but it's actually lower. But there's just so many safety guidelines that you got to go by, and that's where he's talking about like he has so much freedom because you have strict guidelines. Otherwise, you're kicked off the pad.
Yeah, you're run off. You're out of a job.
And yeah, everybody's out of a job.
Okay.
So you're making like life decisions for multiple people if you don't abide by them.
Exactly.
Well, it definitely that's not a monkey suit. That's a necessary suit.
Yep.
You have to wear that stuff just for safety alone.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, they make a big mess about the FR gear, the fire resistant gear. But in a flash out, if the well blows and you're up there next to it,
Done.
the only reason they have that is that little bit of chemical resistance for the fire. adheres your DNA to the clothing.
That kind of
without turning it to complete carbon.
That
like
kind of
that.
to me reminds me of like the Cold War, whenever they would have kids get under their desks in order to protect themselves from a nuclear explosion.
Right,
It's
it would
like,
just encase them in ash.
That's about the amount of protection.
It's
you're
all
gonna
about
get.
lawsuits. And actually, do
Exactly.
you know your FR suits, you can only wash 6 times and you got to buy new ones, which they're
Or retreat.
they're ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, like one collared shirt with pearl snaps costs you $85, $90.
Oh, wow.
So you guys talk about working in the oil field. I recently saw this movie where there was an oil rig and it was in the middle of the ocean.
Deepwater Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon. Was that kind of what y'all did?
Very much so. That was a drilling rig, but we worked on the frac side. So there's the two. There's the drill side. There's the frac side. The drill side obviously drills the well straight down, and then set up for a frac. They'll kick horizontal and go sideways. Frac side is whenever the drilling rig leaves. We come in, we flush a whole bunch of water, sand, chemicals.
after they perforate.
They blow up the hole down, down hole.
Fracture the rock.
Right.
Okay.
And then we shove water, sand, and chemicals at high pressure. And it's what the sand does.
And you're basically filtering it out, right?
That comes
the
on
oil
produce.
that's underneath.
That's the next step. That's once the frac is over with. That's when produce starts. We'll get to that.
They call
in a
that
second.
flow back.
Flow back, produce, whatever. Yeah.
So the money's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the money's so good, why get out of it?
Well, I had a mortgage and I was recently single. And I was like, why am I paying this mortgage if I'm never home?
Right.
Whenever I first started with the first company we worked for.
So why don't you just save your money, don't buy a house, and see where it goes from there?
That's not in our DNA.
Well, see,
as
that
oil
was,
field
and that
workers.
wasn't the case either. I bought my house as a jeweler, and then
Okay.
got fed up with the gig because I was sitting down for 11 hours a day. I think the first year I gained like 85 pounds.
Really?
Because I've always been labor. I was all labor background, mostly logistics and warehousing. So I've always been on my feet, and I went to that, and I was just blew up. Yeah,
So-
absolutely. I was like 345 or something like that.
You became sedimentary, you think?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
just kind of just...
Complacent too.
Complacent.
Yeah,
So
very much
it
so.
wasn't the work itself. The work itself wasn't grueling or tedious or anything to you. It was
No,
the
he
fact
loves
that
it.
It's actually quite tedious. It's quite tedious and very intricate, and that's what I enjoyed about it. It was just more so the fact that I was doing it for a living.
Yeah.
I loved the work. I hated the living, if that makes any sense. Like I didn't like.
You didn't like the lifestyle.
Yeah, I guess so.
Clay,
And me and my dad tend to clash too. My
Describe
dad
to
owns
us
a
what the
company.
oil lifestyle is.
Huh. Wow.
Balls out.
Balls out.
Balls
no,
out.
No
Hell yeah.
sleep. You're making $1 million decisions every single day. If you make the wrong decision, you're out of a job.
Yeah, you're fucked.
They'll fire you?
Yeah.
They'll fire you if you
No,
just
they'll
make
kick
one.
your whole company off the pad.
yeah,
and-
if you get blacklisted, your company's toast. You guys
So-
gotta
Wow.
go flip.
So
burgers.
one individual can screw up a company's
Yep.
basically
So-
Happens.
contract. with
happens
them.
all the time.
So Troy was my go-to hand. He was the top-notch dude. So
And
if
you were the boss.
yeah, I was over him. But if I couldn't rely on him and he made the wrong decision, he could unemploy all of us like that.
Wow.
And so if you don't accompany the company man, you're gone. If they don't like you, you're gone.
Company man is a superintendent on the job.
And they will kick your ass off, and they will get a new company within an hour.
It's ironic when you're working in such an environment dealing with pressure. You face the pressure.
And you're making $1 million decisions. So
Right.
if we held up the frac for, 3 hours, they fined us $50,000 right off the bat.
yeah, it can be up to $1 million a day.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so you're making $1 million decisions every day. So if you cannot get rigged up or you hold up the frac, I'm out of a job. We're all out of a
Well,
job.
how much revenue were they pumping out of there a day?
Oh, my
All
God.
of it. All of it. Put it this way: you seen those pump jacks out in the desert? Those big iron dinosaurs that go up and down.
Yeah.
Basically, picture a barrel. I'd say the big ones do about a barrel. So 42 gallons of oil every time that thing goes up and down. So that's just picture just a cash rip. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
And
cha-ching.
think about how much you pay a gallon. So 42 gallons in a barrel, and every time it goes up and down.
Let's go back to when it was expensive, when oil was like 120, 130 a barrel. Every 10 seconds, one pump jack makes you $130. And if you go out to Midland, Odessa, I mean, they just scour the landscape. You can't drive 30 seconds without seeing one. They're absolutely everywhere.
The highlight
Still
of our
pumping.
day in Midland, I can't remember the pad. We saw 2 rattlesnakes fucking.
Yeah.
And dude, everybody just stopped what they were doing, and we just gathered around. We're like, "This is fucking amazing."
Really?
Yeah.
watching
And then we killed them.
You know,
Wow.
a lot of the work, you see it like in movies and TV shows, how everybody's running around doing shit. And whenever you're active, yeah, that's happening. But most of I'd say almost 60% of the work in the oil field is hurry up and wait.
Okay.
Much like how you guys would describe the military. You
Military.
get somewhere and you
Yeah,
sit there and
absolutely.
you're like, motherfucker. Because we would, especially if you have an old frat crew with old Gen 1 equipment, a lot of this equipment, these are 1,000 horsepower diesel pumps that run at full RPMs for 2.5 hours straight.
10,000 psi going down the hole.
Shit breaks all the time. So you'll run a frac, and if it's an older equipment, you'll run a 2-hour frac, and then you'll go down 9 hours for maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So you sit there in the truck, thumb fuck your phone until you're just literally green in the face.
Well, you had it gravy. You know that.
I complain. It's not every day you can watch Hannibal while you're getting paid and not miss a detail.
Well, with your description, I can definitely see why someone would want to get out of that environment, no matter what the money is, no matter
Right.
how much you're being compensated.
The-
I think deep down, someone's freedom and their personal experience of having their own freedom is worth more than money, or worth more than gold or any type of thing that you could consider valuable, or we consider valuable in life. But on that subject, you talk about how you like to create things. And for those of you that, if you could tell people that don't know who you are, what was your passion? What is your passion? Who are you?
That's a really hard question to answer.
I
I just like
can answer
doing
that.
shit. Like when I growing up, I was the heavy set kid. I like to stay inside playing video games, whatever. My dad is your typical cowboy, try to kick me outside all the time, and it worked. I had a good balance of hanging out, being a nerd, and then going out and doing stuff. But the older I got, the more time I saw that I was actually wasting in front of a fucking idiot box, just a big black.
An idiot box.
That's what my dad always called it. He called it the idiot box. And the more and more, and obviously, the older and older you get, the more and more right your parents seem to have been the entire fucking time. And as much as it pisses you off, you just adapt and adjust. And so,
So
nowadays,
you recognize at an early age that you were being subject to an idiot box. Was it playing video games, watching TV?
that never really hit till high school. Once
High school.
mature and realize because you're about to leave.
Yeah.
You're about to start your life, and you see what you've been wasting your time on, and where your strengths and weaknesses are because of said idiot box. And
So now you use the idiot box to show stuff that you do.
yes,
You make jewelry,
yeah, I
which-
do jewelry, trinkets. I just whatever.
which is fascinating considering if someone took a look at you
Right.
on the street,
I get that all the time.
no one's ever going to think here's
Yes.
a man that really just loves to make jewelry.
He does not look like a jeweler
No,
at all.
no.
What do you say to people like that?
I just you got to laugh because I expected it. I knew it coming into it because literally every new person I met, new friend I've made or an acquaintance, whatever, I say, oh yeah, I'm a jeweler. Like, oh yeah, cool. Wait, what? You're a fucking jeweler, and then-
Right.
Yeah. So then you just got to basically talk about the job. From
You
then
should
on.
see how he used to go to work dressed. I used to be like, what the fuck?
do you
Oh
mean?
yeah, man, I look good. Pro
No.
snap suit vest. I had a hard part with a
They-
shaved line. In
Sometimes
it.
he'd wear this like sweater, like vest
Sweater
sweater,
vest,
and
hell
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, not you.
Whatever.
Really?
But dude, he adapts to everything. He's like a transformer.
So
dude.
his fashion is a little bit different from what you would expect his personality to be.
If someone doesn't know, like if you know Troy, Crocs, basketball shorts, and a black T-shirt all the time.
I live in Crocs. Fuck, I love them. Oh my god, I get so much shit for that too. But that is some fine American footwear made in China.
I'm a flip flop man myself, but I do appreciate the comfort.
But he can
Absolutely.
adapt to anything. Like what do you call those? It's like a lizard, but
Chameleon.
Yeah, chameleon. Because he can adapt to any situation, anything that he's put in. That's one thing I respect about Troy is because he's so adaptable to whatever.
I'd like to expound on that. People use that chameleon term a lot. I don't really like it so much because the chameleon takes time to change its colors. I would consider him to be more like an octopus because that color change happens instantaneously.
I
It's
agree
a
with you on that.
instantaneous adaptation.
And I think it's a
quite-
certain
Yeah.
octopus that does it. I think it's a smaller one.
There's a
that-
bunch.
Yeah, it's not the bigger ones because they don't really adapt to nothing. They're just, I mean, they're the predators.
Right.
But no, I say instant adaptation. Adaptation.
But it sounds like you'd have to have an instant adaptation mentality just to survive in the oil field or survive in.
Yeah.
You
I
got to
might
be
say
that.
that.
You got to be that in any aspect of life.
You better come
Any
up.
aspect.
because anything can happen at any given point. I think about that laying in bed. My house is about 2 miles north of Alliance Runway. And I just know one day a fucking landing gear or an engine or something is going to come off of that fucking thing and just smash me in bed, like just Donnie Darko my ass, you know?
Because it's right over your house.
No, I can see the tread and the landing gears. I mean, they are right over my house, man. But I said that just as an example of this. Anything can happen in any. I mean, no one expects when they're going to die or something's going to happen. You know,
Sure.
you fall down, break a leg. You fall down, break a leg. You're like, oh fuck, I just broke my leg. It's like, oh, yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm going to go break my arm today. None of that happens. You know, you got to be able to rise and overcome, stand and deliver. You know, what else are you here to do?
That's the motto of the Marines, is to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
And that's definitely served us, myself and Stuart, pretty much throughout life. You know, we use these idiot boxes as well, but we try to put a little different spin on it, as people have noticed. I want to get back to that subject, the idiot box. And you said you noticed that in high school. When did you realize that that idiot box could be turned and be used for something of a greter purpose, as
For
opposed?
production instead of consumption.
Yes.
Well, ever since I started seeing homemade videos and stuff, my cousin Darren, who's disabled, was always really good at. He always did stop motion with his Ninja Turtles and GI Joes and stuff. When I was a baby, I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. And then you see how he does it. I watched him how he did it at an early age. Then you go into like animation, like cartooning, and so.
Well,
like,
that
that's
was rare
fucking-
back then too.
Right.
That was a very rare.
You had to be an extraordinary person to pull that off.
But once you take
Just
a step
nobody
back,
did
The
it.
technology was very.
you can
legacy
consume
at the
shows.
time.
You can see these shows and whatever. But once you take a step back and realize how they're actually made,
No.
the process itself. Once you step back far enough and see the bullet points of how it's done, it's extremely simple. I
Yeah,
mean, look what you
it's
guys
simple,
are doing.
but it's definitely tedious. Yeah.
Absolutely, but that's what makes it fun. That's what makes people love it. You know, like
Right.
no one's going to watch a cartoon where it's people do watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's a pretty good one.
There's a
It's
saying-
that's almost like what's that program?
Okay.
Microsoft PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint.
Yeah,
you
PowerPoint.
can make that show on PowerPoint.
There's
You know,
a
very much
saying,
so.
which is, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
Right.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we deal with in this societal stipulation, is that everyone can figure out how to do something, but then it becomes too tedious, it becomes too difficult, and they lack these coping mechanisms as far as cut up. I've always been taught as a child, if you have a big task, it's how do you eat an elephant? You cut it up in small pieces.
Right.
But people don't want this anymore. People want this instant gratification. It has to be done. You know,
Right
these
now,
whole,
right now, right
these
now,
do-it-yourself videos, for example. We all know with the DIY concept, if something's going wrong and you don't know how to fix it, always go to YouTube. But the problem that I'm seeing is that when people do that, it's too hard. It's too much.
Right.
So what do? They go pay somebody to do it. So that trade skill's still in there, but that's based on laziness.
Yeah.
Do you
No,
agree or
exactly.
disagree?
I agree 100%.
But dude, you can take that even to the smallest standpoint, like what we're doing. So, like you do majority of the podcast stuff right now. So, for people that think that it's easy, like when I used to think it was easy watching you and Stu back in the day, yeah, watch yourself on camera and see how good you feel. You're not going to feel very good about yourself. Then try to like click on every single thing, make sure the sound's right, make sure the video's right. There's so much that goes into it that even I don't even know, but I still critique myself, and it's still hard. It's still very, very hard.
Well, it has everything to do with anytime someone does anything, it's not going to be instantaneous.
No,
it's just not
never.
going to be given to you. That's the satisfaction of working
It's
for
persistence.
something. And going back to with Troy, that the creation part, I thought that was really interesting how you said creation. Would you consider it to be creation or construction?
Both. But I mean, they're kind of one and the same.
How so?
Destruction and
Production.
creation.
Yeah, well, it takes creation for construction. It takes construction for creation. They kind of one hand washes the other, if you will.
Where does destruction fit into that mold?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, like let's say we're going to build a house, right? Well, this timber's got to be cut. The concrete's got to, these stones have to be crushed to make concrete. All that's got to come out of the side of a mountain.
This seems to be an idea people don't like. They
Right.
don't like this idea that something has to be destroyed to be made again.
But they like the
But
houses
it's like
they live
that.
in.
But they love the house they live in, of
It's
course.
like that in every single. It even goes into the cooking dinner. Say you're going to make fajitas. Yeah, that comes off of a cow. The skirt steak comes off of the skirt of a cow.
Right.
Well, that's got to be, the cow has to be killed, and then it has to be butchered, and then you got to take that one good cut of meat, then you got to chop that up, and then you
Right.
got to take these seasonings off of the
I
plant.
think that goes back to the whole what you were talking about as far as people want the instant gratification, but they're not willing to put in the effort in order to make it happen. Like people love living in their house and all this stuff. I mean, even the people that live on these platforms to where animal rights and everything like that, there's hard decisions that have to be made, and not everybody is equipped in order to do that. So it's you take on that role of there are those people that do, and there are those people, consumers and producers.
Sure. And see,
right?
and everybody
then
likes
there's a balance of the producers themselves that consume.
And people like putting on blinders. So if they don't have to actually kill the cow themselves, they get this validation like, well, I didn't have to kill it. Someone else killed it. But I'm going to take the steak and I'm still going to eat it.
Right.
Just like
Yeah.
anyone else. But they didn't have to actually go kill that cow
Right.
and quarter it up, deal with the blood. They didn't have to do any of that.
It's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's
not
not.
the quartering, but taking the life itself. As an
even-
avid hunter, I've killed. I couldn't tell you how many animals in my life I've taken. It never gets easier. You
No.
just get used to it, But it's something that's worth doing. And that
But you're
goes
gonna
into the
harvest
whole-
it.
I imagine you
Exactly.
as like a Norse Pocahontas. Whenever you take an animal's life, and you have that whole like massive Thor bear hanging off,
love it.
and you're like doing a little prayer for the animal as you
And
send
just
him
think,
off. And
every time I
thanking
brush my
him-
teeth,
you're
every time
thanking
I
him-
brush my teeth, I see that motherfucker staring right back at me.
you're thanking him for that nourishment that he's about to provide for you.
Well, it's
I
a
love
very
no, that's
spiritual
that's a
thing.
legit thing. That's
that
something
could
I
be
do
a great
every
Disney
time.
movie.
Every time I do it,
I think they'd frown upon that.
every deer I've killed,
Yeah.
I've squatted down next to it, patted on the side, and I've either verbally said thank you or just kind of looked up and just thought when you take a life, you get that adrenaline rush, man. You get that bump, and you're
Now,
just, I'm just
let's go back to that. We know that the Native Americans did the same thing, where it was
Right.
not a wasteful means by any stretch of the imagination. But do you think there's an importance, or do you think it's just more of a ritual to sit there and thank the deer or thank the animal that you just killed?
I wanted to
For
for
address.
me, it's absolutely both.
I wanted to address Lewis's statement real quick. Do it yourself for the most idea. Is the most idea that you can do something simple once the simple task becomes complicated? Too many just give up. They are thinking there's a shortcut to a difficult task, or as you say, trade skill. So
I agree.
That's a great point.
It is a good point, and that just goes to show that nothing worth doing is easy, and anything easy isn't worth doing.
Well, I think that nowadays in our society that we have different people, like as Americans, I know that we see, like we have different people, like most of the time if you want your yard mowed or something like that, it ain't going to be someone getting paid $30 an hour. Not going
Right.
to happen.
Right.
So you got to have like a level of, through the stature of people that do certain things, like butchering cows. Butchers, that's a bloody job. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. But we've evolved so much that everything's gotten so simple that we don't have to do it. So therefore, ask a normal American if they know how to butcher any animal. Probably
No,
not.
Probably not.
Completely quarter one, yeah, no.
Yeah, probably not. So, but if you go back to the way we were founded, you had to. Otherwise, your family wasn't
Absolutely.
fed.
Absolutely.
So we just got so colonized that we just hired different people for different jobs, and
That's
we don't
the
have to deal with
comfort
it.
of society,
Exactly.
right? Different people have different trades that
Yep.
are going to be beneficial for the other. So, yeah, I mean, while it could be looked as lazy to some people, it could as well just be that taking utilization of the of what's offered to you, of what's in your society.
But when you do it mass
spectrum.
quantities, it takes away from emotion. So a butcher, he
Absolutely.
probably don't see it a certain way as like a deer hunter. A deer hunter actually has to cut up his own meat if he does it legitly and make his own meat. If you do that all day, every day, it takes away from the emotion. But as hunters, I can vouch that I'm thankful for every deer that I harvest. I eat every bit of it. I don't use the bones as tools like the Indians did, but there is waste. But that's where we got so socialized that we emotionally detach from that.
Okay,
Well,
and going back to that emotional detachment, that's why I wanted to go back and ask both you and Clay, when you kill an animal, do you say the same thing over and over? Like, do you
More
have
or
the
less.
same prayer?
Well,
More or
I
less.
thank God.
So what does that prayer sound like?
Absolutely.
What is that form of communication? What does that sound like?
I wouldn't be living without you giving me this deer.
Yeah, I just say the one thing I make sure to say is thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Always thank
Is
you.
thank you.
You're not-
Absolutely.
You're not
absolutely.
You're not thanking them for the accurate shot that you hit. Chris is like, thank you for.
No, I've
for the
missed many a
sustenance.
times, and dude,
It's like, sorry if I caused you any pain, but thank you. Were going to. I'm going to eat every square.
Do
You're not
you
going in vain,
think
without a doubt.
that animal hears what you're saying?
hopefully its spirit does.
I hope it does.
You hope it
I
does.
fucking I hope so. I hope God hears it. I hope all the animals hear it. I hope all the fish hear it. Every single one of them.
I tell you
hope they
what,
do. So
break-
they know that I'm not a bad person. I'm not
So-
out there just shooting a trophy just for the fuck of it.
What happens if later on in life we figure out that all those things you said were useless?
Then it was useless.
well, it's
not gonna matter.
self-validation, I guess, but
Would it be any different?
But that's what it's called, faith, because it's not proven. But like, you know how many there's been 3 deer that I've shot and I've never found, and it still haunts me to this
Oh,
day.
that's sick. That makes it sick to my stomach.
Oh,
just
it
thinking
does. It
about
turns
Yeah.
my stomach
Oh,
over.
Absolutely. Knowing there's some deer gut shot bleeding
Yep.
out in the woods in pain. Yeah.
And not only that,
absolutely.
just rot. I know buzzards probably eat it, but I want it. Like that's, I'm religious, so I think God put that here on earth for me to harvest to give me energy, and so I get emotional about it, dude. That's why I've done I'm adrenaline junkie. I love adrenaline. There's nothing like shooting
Buck fever, baby.
Oh, my God.
Buck fever, baby. Hell yeah.
What's interesting, people that don't know who you or Clay are, you would come off originally as rednecks that just love to hunt, and they would classify you as your
Backwoods
animal
white trash.
killer. You
Yep.
don't have any feelings towards any type of animal. You're just slaughtering them, but you're giving them a different perspective.
No, we are far closer with the
No.
animal kingdom than anybody else on the planet. Hunters, because we are in their house. When you're out there, I like to hunt to harvest, but
Right.
I like going out there because that's not where modern man belongs. I like
Huh.
to go out there and see these animals, see the landscape in its natural habitat, because you got to be out there, sit.
Do you
dead
feel
still.
like you are the animal back in the kingdom as well?
Well, very much so. I like to. Well, I mean, I like to pretend that sometimes. You know, like
Yeah.
And not only that,
I'm
You're
a
on-
fucking big bad wolf, baby.
you're on their playing field. So we come out of the city smelling like whatever. We have to figure out how to make ourselves part of that environment without them knowing, which they are the smartest freaking animals on this earth. They can smell forever. So you cannot be downwind from them or upwind from them, because you're not going to see a deer. It's not going to happen because you're in their environment. So if they came into the city, we're going to be like, oh, that's a fucking deer.
And even then, whenever you're sitting in a deer blind, you're totally decked out in camouflage. But those deer, if you're hunting a feeder especially, they hear that corn feeder go off like a dinner bell, and they're in there every day, and they know their surroundings. They see everything,
Right.
And all of a sudden, this
There's a
particular
different
morning,
smell.
there's a huge lump on that tree and a different smell. Like
Right.
So they know you're there. They can't quite make out exactly what you are, but they know you're there, so their eyes are always on you. And if you're a bow hunter like me, the average bow shot's 12 to 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be right on top of these fucking animals, which is not easy when you're 310 pounds.
I experienced the
Oh, I
same thing
imagine
playing
it.
Call of Duty, where I mapped everything out and I know what that is, and all of a sudden I look, I'm like, that wasn't there before, and then all of a sudden it kills me. I'm like,
Right.
oh shit.
Let me ask you a
Right.
I
question.
knew it.
When's the last time you've had to sit perfectly still for hours? In this modern day. So
For
when
six
you
to
get out of
7
your,
hours in the bitter fucking cold.
yeah,
of
so
Texas.
get out of your city life. When is the last time you just sit there on a chair doing this?
Well, it wasn't for 16
And
hours.
when you scratch your face, you got to do it slow.
Or don't do it.
But it's also a choice.
Well,
No one's telling you to do it or not.
Do you want deer meat or do you not? Because if you just sitting there doing that, you will not see a deer.
I want to go back to the butcher thing for a quick fun fact.
Go
I
ahead.
told you about the game show information. Did you know that high heels were invented by a butcher?
Nope.
Yep. High heels came from a male butcher
That doesn't surprise
to keep
me.
from walking around heels down in blood all day.
Oh my god.
Yep.
So
That also
about-
has like American Psycho tendencies to it as
I
well.
take
Like,
it
I just
the
high
imagine
heels
some
were
crazy
red.
guy
I'm pretty
wearing
sure-
high heels
Yeah.
with mommy issues.
I take it the high heels were red
My-
from blood.
I don't know. Probably Clayton.
All right, I want to switch gears here for a second. I want to talk about going back to when you said the prayer and how you are verbally or non-verbally trying to communicate with this animal that you took not for sport but because to eat.
Right.
we talked about the Native Americans, how they had that prayer and they had this type of communication that they would use. To me, this is extremely interesting as far as how do you think we really do communicate? Not just verbally or non-verbally. Do you think there's something else? Do you think we
Absolutely,
do it
and
otherwise?
it comes down to brainwaves is what I think it does. The energy that you put out in the world. Whenever I'm trying to say here, we are all connected, especially to the animal kingdom, because you and I, all four of us, we have the 99% the same DNA as a fucking crocodile.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're
Right.
all made of the same stuff. There's just a few different minuscule, unbelievably small variables in our differences that
You've seen
make us what we are.
videos of men, like there's a man in the Amazon, and he's playing around with a crocodile, and it looks like they're playing. What?
Right.
Fucking Andrew.
What do you say?
So
Physically, I slap a hooker on the ass when she's done a good job.
That's a tip, right?
Would you not do it if she didn't do a good job? Just slap an ass.
So going back to this guy in the Amazon, you can see him with a crocodile, and they look like they're playing. Now, what's bizarre about this, and the only case that I've seen is if an animal's close to death and a human being saves them from that impending doom, that seems to create a bond,
Very much so.
which is interesting. Do you think that's that form of communication that we have, that we don't even have to be able to talk to an animal,
Well,
but just
absolutely.
showing it that we care about it and we nurture it and take care of it, and that way it recognizes it's not going to harm us as out of respect.
Well, you can't just bet the farm on it's not going to harm us. Especially
It'll get hungry.
especially a fucking-
Eventually.
especially a crocodile. We're talking about dinosaurs here. They're pretty basic when it comes to instinct. But
Look at the-
there's countless cases across the world and across history of that exact instance when someone saved a wild animal from a peril, and all of a sudden this animal starts following around like they're pets.
Look
might-
at
there's
two-
also the antithesis of that, though. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show, the Deadliest something or other, when animals attack or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like people that take in these wild animals and they raise them, and a lot of the times they take them in whenever they're babies, and then they raise them until their puberty hits and all that stuff. And once the puberty hits, then they just become their animal.
You mean when
instincts take over.
animals
Oh.
attack?
Yeah.
You mean just being animals?
Yeah,
No,
right,
on
exactly.
that, on that, my dad over the years, growing up, had raccoons as pets. They'd save
So did
baby
we.
raccoons.
I
and
had
they'd have
one.
pet- Yeah, but the males especially, they get to a certain maturity, and a lot of these fucking coons, they just snap. And my dad would say, you can't go near the cage. You just got to take the cage, take it outside, and just let them go.
Let
The
'em
day
go.
before, he was like a dog. He's like your best friend, But
Right.
then they just snap.
Yeah, so there's something in there that takes on the animal instinct of either it's a predator or it's just it becomes
Well,
aggressive.
there's a man in England, and they called him the Wolf Man. And what he would do is he started learning how wolves would communicate. And what he figured out was when they howl, when they're up on like that type of the cliff and they're howling, they're pretty much telling everybody their name. They're telling them their identity. They're saying, this is who I am. This is where I'm located. Where are y'all at?
This is my place.
Actually, I do know a lot about that.
think I
And
saw that
You
guy.
are right. So when they do howl and hoop and holler, so they hunt in packs. What they do is they have exceptional hearing. So whenever they find a weakling, they surround them and then they hoop and holler, and then they know which I call them dog, which dog is where. So
Right.
and then they attack at once. So they're communicating like, hey, here he is. I'm gonna scare him out towards y'all. Y'all are already behind him. He's dead.
Well, there was a man, again, this Wolfman guy, who went into the cage with meat, and he started snarling. He actually started using his facial
Right.
stuff.
Long-haired
And
dude?
Yeah.
Wore the same clothes every other day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would start
Yeah.
making the snarls in the same face, and he'd stick the tongue out and just look like a wolf. And he said, it is a dog-eat-dog society in a wolf pack.
Alpha.
And if you are weak, they'll pick it out and they'll destroy you.
Yeah, or if
so
you
as,
leave.
As
Or you're
long
gonna
as
follow
you
'em.
demonstrate this identity of being an alpha, and the weird part about the alpha, when you see this, he shares, but then another wolf will snap real quick, and he has to snap back at that.
Assertive
But somehow
dominance.
there's this harmony that's being made just based on this communication.
But do you know how much balls it takes for that mother? Okay, so
Not
number
only that,
one,
hang on, Clayton, because that particular guy, I think I saw that same episode. He left to go, I think it was like Canada or something, console or whatever it is on a wolf population up there. He didn't want to leave his pack. He had like 4 or 5 wolves.
Yeah,
in
he
his-
started having a
and he
kindred
came
with them.
back, and they had already reestablished the hierarchy without him. He came back, and they were like, "No, motherfucker, you're at the bottom." Like I'm not joking. He had like roll over on his back and whimper and shit too, just to
Really?
keep from getting eaten by his 4 best friends that he just
Wow.
left for a week. I mean, he was just gone for a week and came back, put the same shit back on, came right in, tried to do the same thing, and they were like, "Nah, you left.
Wow.
You left the pack. You're
Wow.
fucked, pal.
That's actually pretty.
We'll let you
amazing.
back in just because you won't let us out."
Interesting.
But to put it in perspective, so I got an all black German Shepherd, he's huge. But when he smiles, it looks like he's about to eat your face off. No joke. So Troy came over to my house one day, and we were just sitting on the back patio, and of course Cash loves Troy, so he
That's my boy.
snarled. Well, his canines are so huge, Troy just took his face and was like, "Fuck are you doing?" But I was like, "Dude, he's just smiling at you." But that's just a German Shepherd. Can you imagine a full blown wolf bigger than him?
A wolf ain't much bigger than Cash. Cash is a big
No, in
motherfucker,
Canada, they're massive.
dude. Well, they are big, like 300-pound dogs.
Yes.
But still, Cash is pretty goddamn big.
Yeah, but even that snarling at me, I don't want no part of that.
No.
He only lets me control him because he's willing to let me control him.
Sure.
If he doesn't want me to control him, there's nothing I can do. Bottom line.
What animal do you think that you'd be interested the most in trying to communicate with?
Wolf.
A wolf.
You'll survive
Boy,
forever.
that's a hard one to answer.
Either that or
that's
cockroach.
a hard one. Can I only
That's
have
tough.
one?
One.
Just
Only
one.
God,
one.
I got to think about that one.
What about you, Stu?
I would want to communicate with a penguin.
Penguin. Why a penguin?
Well, I mean, it's the way that they operate. They operate in this like family type environment. It's more than a pack. It's more than a gaggle. Also, it's a huge community, and it reminds me a lot of us as humans, how we have a community and a society that we all interact in. So to me, just to communicate on,
I can dig it.
on that level.
Interesting.
And the way that they do things, they provide each other food and stuff like that. They don't all just hunt their own food. It's like they each have their own trade and they provide something.
You know
to
how they
that
keep each other warm
society.
too, right?
Yeah, don't they huddle up in a big
They huddle
crowd?
up in a spiral.
Yeah.
Well, so what happens is the spiral ends up getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So eventually, when you're on the outskirts, probably in like an hour or so, you're going to be in the middle.
Right.
And it just keeps kind of
Right.
rotating itself that way,
Femi-
which is
feminists
incredible.
would love
I want to
this.
know how fucking penguins. You hear about these penguins that go out. They take turns. The husband and wife takes turn going out to go get fish, and they come back, and there's like this literally a glacier that is covered with fucking penguins, and they know exactly how many steps and what their mate looks like
Right.
when they all look literally
Yeah.
the exact same. Like, how do they?
Yeah,
they
that's
do that
interesting.
weird dance thing, and I'm just like,
I was gonna say that feminists really love them or would love this because the female actually goes out and hunts whenever she lays the egg, and the dude is the one that keeps it warm.
hey, I'm all about it.
I'm
I'll
gonna have
stay
to
home.
respond to a comment. Robert Knight, you can kiss my ass.
What did he say? What did Robert say?
I could have sworn it was a lab. Remember when I first got Cash, his ears wouldn't stand up? They're like, "Oh, that's a beautiful lab." I'm like, "He's a fucking German Shepherd. Leave him alone."
So, Austin, what about you? What animal would you
Oh,
want to
shit.
communicate?
Definitely a monkey.
A monkey.
Oh, I love monkeys. I love
I
how
do too.
No, wait, a monkey or an ape?
a monkey.
Monkey.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
It's like a capuchin or something.
yeah, or a chimp.
Spider monkey.
Baboon.
Apes kind of worry me a little bit because of the dominance that they have.
Right.
You don't really tend to see the dominance in a monkey, even though
Well,
if it behaves that way.
The threat to
The
you.
threat.
Anyway, yeah.
Exactly.
Chimpanzee will eat your goddamn face off.
Yeah,
Well, true.
chimpanzees are
In a
fucking,
hurry.
But
True.
Aren't chimpanzees? They're not really in the monkey category.
I don't
they're
think
the
no.
greater apes. They're the
Yeah.
greater. They're the
Yeah,
higher apes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
the ape category.
chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans.
But the
Right.
silverback, they beat on their chest, and whoever can beat louder,
Right.
that shows their dominance. I don't think they want any.
Well, so the only person that I've seen was Robin Williams when he started communicating with Coco, the gorilla.
That is so cool.
Yes.
And when
That
I
is so
really
cool,
thought
dude.
about
Yeah.
it, I think Coco thought he was a gorilla because of how hairy his arms were,
Yeah.
as opposed to everybody other
No,
human.
she actually said that.
So she did.
Yeah, you're hairy like Coco.
You're hairy like me.
Right.
That's really fascinating to see like how that's the way they look at other people as opposed to like, well, these are the ones that give me bananas. You're like me.
Right.
You're like me. I like you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That was
And not only that,
Coco. Didn't Coco just die?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Not only
That was
that-
the coolest thing I think humans have done to this date
Yeah.
is be able to bridge the communication gap with a fucking gorilla.
Yeah.
How
not
cool.
just not just gorilla, also birds. The African gray. It wasn't Einstein. There's another one. I forget his name. It's a real sad story because he ended up dying after like 15, 16 years of having this companionship with this woman, and she was studying for how to communicate with parrots, how to communicate with African grays, because she always believed that they did have a higher intelligence and they were really speaking to us. She couldn't really prove it though, and the only way that she could start getting that way to prove it was the African gray would start taking the two concepts and blending them together. For example, he knew what cake was, and he knew what birthday was. And so all of a sudden, when they brought in a birthday cake, he would say, birthday cake.
No
yummy."
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
actually dope.
It's
That's
really
actually
cool.
Really cool.
I forget the bird's name. If anybody's watching, then they can help me out with that. But yeah, it's a great, great story. And I think the fuckery that kind of made me sad was the night before he died. He told the doctor when she was, because they always have these rituals, it's just kind of that
Right.
way of social conditioning. But when she left that night, he said, "Good night. I love you."
No way.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking
Hits me right in the feels.
made me fucking tear up on this goddamn show.
but dude, have you seen that? I don't know if it's a parrot or what kind of bird it's that all white one, but listens to heavy metal.
Yes.
The
Dude,
cockatoo.
and
Cockatoo,
dude can
yeah.
sing it.
Where he gets pissed off.
Yeah.
The owner's like stomping the cage. He's like,
Saw that.
"Fuck
yeah.
you! Fuck you! What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the motherfuck?"
That's some communication.
That was actually such an accurate. that video is the best.
Dude, it might be my spirit animal. Seriously,
I thought of my animal,
you like that hat,
thought
Josh?
Got it. All right.
and it is not a wild animal. It is house dogs.
House dogs.
If I could speak to everybody's house dog,
Be like
learn their
the dog
deepest,
whisperer.
darkest yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You learn their secrets.
What really goes on in their house, and I'm out there throwing the ball with the dog. I'm like, no shit. She's fucking the mailman. Like,
Tell me more.
I
Mom-
knew it.
Your mom did what?
I think Joshua Smithhard likes the hat.
What hat?
Oh, yeah.
Your hat.
WSFP.
Western States Fire Protection.
Okay.
Come on.
Come on.
So the topic is communication. We just touched on how if we wanted to communicate with a certain type of animal, I'm curious as far as what is to you the most favorite modality of communication? And I can obviously say for me it's radio. I think radio is the most important concept that we've developed and we've invented as far as how we can get our broadcast and communication now. But I'm curious to see what yours is, Josh.
Josh.
Josh,
Did I
Troy?
say Josh or Troy? Why did I say Josh?
because I just said Josh.
Freudian. Oh, that's why.
Freudian slip. Yeah, that is best. So, wait, repeat the question, please.
Any
Yes,
type of
dogs.
invention, any type of ways that we
Anybody's
figured
avenue
out
of communication?
Yeah.
God, man. I mean, I'm such a on some things I'm such a purist, especially when it comes to that. So I got to just say word of mouth, face to face.
Word of mouth, face to face.
Because then you get it. That's when the handshakes come. It's a true transfer of energy. You
Well,
know what I
you-
mean? It's like being a part of something. Like happiness is only truly exists when shared. So yeah, you can play stuff on the radio, you can play stuff on the TV, and someone's sitting there laughing. Then no one's really laughing on the couch by themselves. But if you and I are watching Drunk History together on the couch, what's it? We're laughing our fucking asses
Are you
off.
talking
Not
about
only that-
as like how you always turn to
Yeah.
look at somebody? Are
Yeah.
you laughing? I'm laughing.
Verification.
Not only
Yeah,
that, how many times have you
Validity.
texted someone and they get a totally different aspect of what you're saying?
Because you can't tell emotion. in
Yeah,
text.
you can't
Yeah.
see the person, so you're getting more senses face to face than you are just words. So if you read a book, that's why people like movies better because they can see the reactions on different people. If you read a book, you're interpreting of how that is. Now we've gotten so sloppy with text that every woman gets mad whenever you send anything, so it doesn't matter.
Wait, women get mad? You don't say.
What
about you, Stu?
I'm partial to the nonverbal communication. I think
Nonverbal.
No shit.
Yeah, I think it's a
Silence?
That's very. I mean, for me, I don't talk that much outside of this radio show as it is. So for me, like I get really strong signals from people like you can tell a person just their character and stuff like that. You can get a good sense of them
Just by watching.
just by their communication that they give
Absolutely.
you. Like, like those stuck up individuals that you can see that they think that they're better than other people. Just the way that they present themselves and walk around, like Clay.
Well, you talked earlier about how when people use big words,
Yes.
I like this too.
and going back into the history, Troy, you made a really good point beforehand when we talked way back in the day. You talked about how when people were trying to learn how to use new words and how to use new vocabulary, lexicon, syntax, they were limited based upon their social class, based upon where they were in proximity to the library. Because let's
Very.
face it, we didn't have the internet back then. So now you're limited based upon your social class, who you are, how much money you're making, the friends you
Education.
have, education, all this stuff.
Well,
And I never really
goes
thought of
into
it that way.
The development of slang too.
Right.
That's slang is nothing more than dialect, if
So
you will.
I got a good point. So Brooke just said that's why books are better. Okay, so but in college, so if
Fuck.
you're supposed to read a novel
Books.
and then your question on it, how can you actually be wrong because it's just text? You can interpret someone's feelings. Like you can read the Bible, I can read the Bible. I'm gonna get a totally different interpretation than you will. So how can you honestly be wrong without seeing someone's facial expressions or what they're doing?
Well, the wrong is perspective. I mean, it was wrong for you, may be right for
But
someone
these are our
else, but-
teachers. So are they the almighty to say no F? So you flunked out of college over reading text when you did not see any emotion that was written back in 18th century.
Well, from my experience with that in English classes and stuff, the teacher wasn't necessarily that. It was more of like just a channel. Because
A guide.
you would read a certain amount of the book, and then you would sit back and talk about it with the teacher, and the teacher would understand what the author was trying to convey in
Right.
his writing
From
because
what-
they've studied this over and over and over again.
From what they think.
No, from what they've been told.
But
what they
that,
think,
and
you're
overall,
right, but-
they are the guidelines that give you a passing grade or a failing grade.
Well, how do maps work?
Do what now?
How do maps work?
Probably not that good back in the day.
So if I gave you a map and said, so far historically, we figured out that if you follow that trail, you'll get to that lake. And you do have the right to say, fuck you, you're wrong. Everything's wrong.
Now, if
but
you-
I'm not trying to tell you anything different. I'm just showing you a way.
I know
That's
what
all
he's
it
already
is.
thinking.
Right.
But if you go to a scale map of like higher land, which I already know Stu's getting at, Marine Corps, dude, it's like a certain, like, what do you call it, elevations?
Yes.
What do you call that map?
Elevation.
Elevation map, I guess.
Elevational map.
So,
land mount.
yeah, so you actually can depict. Now, a road map, if someone drew it on a piece of paper, oil field maps.
Oh, God.
So at the second porta potty, you take a right and cross 3 cattle guards.
At the big
Well,
tree, turn left. There's
Yeah.
4 trees where you're supposed to turn.
Yeah, so, but an elevation map, you cannot get wrong because you can actually see.
Topographical.
Yeah, that's what it is, topographical.
Yeah.
You cannot mistake that. It's just elevation. But before satellites, you could not do that.
I've always been curious about those. I think they're called cartographers. Cartographers, the ones that something like that.
cardiographer?
Yeah, the ones that
Cardiographers?
they exercise while they draw the maps.
Don't make fun of me, you redneck motherfucker. You just
Oh,
redneck as
I
I
was
am.
reading it. Cartographer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bitch. I'm not even sure that's accurate.
It is.
You
Got
might want to look it up.
Cartographer,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
I've been very curious of how they were able
you.
to just take a look at something and then put things in perspective and say,
Right.
this is everything in proximity. Now, we're not going to say it's 100% accurate, but did people get to where they needed to go?
Absolutely.
And that's the metaphor that I'll use for you. If you want to go to San Jose and I give you directions to go to Los Angeles, that's my fault. That's my fault as someone, as your guide.
As your cartographer.
So, exactly. So my job is to only give you directions on how to get to San Jose. I'm not judging you on how you do it. It's your fucking choice. So I think that's when you're talking about, you can't really blame the teachers, so they're just the messengers.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but they judge
They
you
give
on
the
how
tools.
they interpret
They
it.
give you the tools to be successful. It's up to you in order how you're going to utilize.
So
those
when they
tools.
challenge
and
you
some
on-
some try to influence you more than others.
But that's for
I'll agree
standardized.
with
That's for
that.
standardized classes too.
Look at Shakespeare. You can interpret whatever you want from him. So whatever you read from Shakespeare, you get an emotion.
Sure.
So your emotion does not equal this other dude's emotion. So how are you going to grade this dude on something you don't even know the dude that wrote this, but you're just it's almost like the Bible. It's so widely spread written that how can anyone really be wrong?
Well, that's different as far, in my opinion, right?
Because we're in different times.
Isn't that different as far as what you're talking about? I mean, you're talking about different levels of scholasticism. You're talking about interpretation of art, as in poetry or plays
Well,
or something like
I'll
that,
put it to
as
you this
opposed
way.
to empirical data like math or science or something
I'll
like
put
that.
you this way. Austin showed me some Shakespeare came up with swagger. Do you think our swagger today is the same as swagger back then?
Shakespeare came up with a lot of different words.
Yeah, ode.
It's really strange to think about one individual that would blend two different ideas together, and all of a sudden, later on down the road, we're using those same words.
Okay, Dawn. Fucking Dawn.
Addiction.
Yeah, like, okay, so before dawn that we know, what was it?
So
Night.
there's dwindle.
What about the period between night and day where it's almost night?
Dark.
It's not dark yet.
Well, there's
Dusk.
dawn as in like dawn,
Sunset?
donning an item of clothing.
I don't know if that word was out there then. You're just throwing out shit, dude.
How about gnarled?
Gnarled. I've never even heard of that.
Gnarled.
Gnarled. Like
I'm going to use it tomorrow, though.
Like gnarly.
Grovel.
Yeah, I think everybody's done that when they fucked up.
About zany.
Zany.
these are all Shakespeare words. What do you know?
Cold-blooded amazement advertising.
Who'd have thought
bandit,
somebody who's never seen a TV is a genius?
green-eyed, drugged, excitement flawed,
Green-eyed, really?
lackluster. Well, the green-eyed, that's the envy. That's
Yeah,
the
envious
jealousy.
idea.
But who depicts that? What if he meant that, hey, you just have green fucking eyes?
You got to read the rest of the passage. Read what he's writing.
Yeah, but it's still however you interpret it.
Well, yes and no. You can look at one of Shakespeare's poems and say, okay, you just pick out green-eyed out of the middle of the poem and be like, oh, yeah, she must have green eyes.
So
but
in
if
the-
you read the next, 4 to 6 sentences, you're like, oh, it's about jealousy or envy.
So in the
Right.
Bible it
I
said,
get it. So keep
he,
reading,
He
is
tied
what I'm
his
saying.
ass to a tree. Does that mean he really tied his ass to a tree, or did they just call it jackasses back then?
No, he really tied his ass to a tree. He tied his donkey to a tree. Back then, they were just referred to as asses.
Or are you just assuming? What if he actually?
No, that's what it is.
What if he just tied his ass to a tree?
Like tied his own ass.
Yeah,
How would one tie his own ass?
you
got to
put your butt in it.
No, put your butt in me. God. No. I want to know this. How would one tie his own ass to a tree without putting a belt around his front?
I think you just got to lap
Stitches?
it. I think you got to lap it,
That's
even though the rest of your body is still there.
That would.
Well, I
that would
think you make a
different
really
way.
good
I'll
point of
take it.
putting things into context. And a lot of things can be used as far as there's a million different interpretations if you really want to go about it.
Absolutely.
But it's what is that person sending? What is that person really trying to get across? And Stu, we kind of talked earlier about just silence.
Yeah.
I want to bring up to the audience. One of my favorite songs is called "The Sound of Silence," and the reason why is because if you think about music, there has to be rests involved. That rest is that period where someone's going to take a breath, someone's going to think for a second. If you didn't have that, it would just be constant banter over and over and over, constant bombardment
So it'd
of
be
information.
It'd be like a rap song.
What about?
Yeah, exactly.
What
The
about-
mumble rap.
Right, yeah.
What about at funerals? Do you not get that feeling when it's silence? That
somberness.
I mean, yeah, dude, it's so powerful that it gives you goosebumps. Just because like you're emotionally attached and there's no sound. When is there no sound in our lifestyle right now?
Literally never.
That's-
We're literally never
Right.
without sound.
Not even
no matter where we go.
Not even hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
You got birds in the leaves that sound
You're
like
actually
fucking deer
surrounded-
walking up on you and shit.
You're
Definitely
surrounded by
not
more
in
notable
my
sound.
household.
No.
Me and my girlfriend love her to death.
Oh wow!
Digging a hole.
So even in a black hole, there'd still be some type of sound.
I don't know about that. I don't know the physics of a black hole, but if light can't escape, I doubt sound.
Do not get them
Well, they
started.
say that sound. There is no sound in space, so
Wouldn't it be
the
reverse
idea of,
sound?
Well, even then, you would
idea
hear
of
if
sound
space,
and
if,
black
if,
hole.
if the vastness of space is that silent, then you would hear your own blood going through your
Ooh.
vessels in your
Yeah.
ears. There was a room somebody made years ago that's supposed to be the quietest room in existence, and they use studio foam like this, but really big, thick shit. And they say it's so quiet in there, people can only stand to be in there for about 40 minutes or so because the sound, the ambient inner sound of your body is so deafening loud when there's no sound at all. Like it drives people nuts. They have to get out in like less
Right.
than 45 minutes.
There's a school of thought about how there's a reason why we don't understand all the stuff that's going on in our body simultaneously. Even though every cell's communicating with each other, we don't need to be privy to that because it would drive us fucking insane.
Right, exactly.
Because then all of a sudden we're getting all of these different types of things that are going on as far as blood's pumping up here and this cell's doing this. Could you imagine just the insanity you would have understanding all that stuff in your body?
or
that
trying to
doesn't-
compute that or trying to organize it yourself with your own mentality
But that actually doesn't even make sense
or capacity, should I
for
say.
what he said with that room that was made. So what about people that had blunt force trauma that instantly went deaf?
Well, that's what that is a nerve block. There's something not communicating between the eardrum and the other bones inside your ear to the brain itself.
Right.
That is what true silence would be like. I'd imagine. I don't know. I'm not deaf, but even then,
They
like I
don't go
said,
insane though.
Right. That's not what I was saying about the room. In the room itself, your inner sound, your inner noise, like whenever in a room that quiet, they say that you can actually hear the blood going through the vessels in your ears, in your head, and it makes this wah, just constant, and it's so loud.
Right.
that
Almost
it
like
literally-
tinnitus.
I'm sure.
Yes, exactly like tonight.
I'm sure somebody could beatbox to that.
Today it's 2018, man. I believe it.
I'm not joking. I watched a video earlier and the dude was bad, but that
What's
like
his
that.
name? Takashi 69.
No, but that dude.
I
That
fucking hate that.
That gives me a limitation.
man.
So like, someone's like, "You will go crazy." I'm like, "Oh, I'm already crazy." So I want to be in that fucking room.
You want to try that out?
Oh, I definitely want to
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah?
Totally.
Shot.
Oh
See
yeah.
how long you can be there?
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, it's interesting when people put
Can I have a porthole?
other people in isolation. There was a guy that did that himself just as an experiment, and he realized that when an individual is by themselves for a certain period of time, they start losing their mental faculties. They start losing
Right.
that ability to communicate or to be able to socialize with other people, and it just tears them down inside and
Yeah.
breaks them apart.
But can
Well,
you
we
have?
are social creatures,
Right.
You know, we
Yeah.
we always have a drive to find that.
But can you have certain things like just a sliver of a piece of paper? Because if I can make a paper football, I'm good. I'm not joking,
I
dude.
believe
All day long, just
So you're saying that you could just be by yourself in just a room and wouldn't have to have any social contact. You'll be able to figure out that stuff.
I've done it.
Well, I know you've done it
Not-
before.
not for
We're
extended
this,
period of
this
time.
degree. That
You
could be an
usually take the
experiment.
bail bonds paper and you rip off the side of it and you fold in paper.
Yeah, but
football.
jail is fucking loud.
Right.
No, not in.
And you still hear noises too.
But even in solitary,
Not only do you see noises, but you see officers that are pretty much doing the same thing you're doing. They're just a little bit more comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. If
Right.
you give me a
They're,
porthole,
they're
I'm good.
more clothed, but when you think about that, they're suffering the same amount that you're suffering. They're just watching Netflix.
No, they're getting paid.
and that's true.
I'm not getting paid.
And they get to
I'm
go
actually
home and-
losing fucking money here.
and they go home and eat not jail food.
Yeah.
That's true. No hot pockets.
Yeah, they get to
Yeah.
go home and have
Hot
sex.
pockets. This ain't Keller.
I get to sit in here and have sex with myself through the porthole. That's why if you give me a
Wow.
porthole, I'm good.
It's a good time, Clayton.
Does Brooke have a bone to pick with you? She's all over your ass. Clayton, he's not talking about when you're on the toilet.
She's a hater.
Got him.
She hates on me all the time.
Is that your girl, dude?
No,
You lying?
her boyfriend's in the pic,
Oh,
or her girlfriend's in
sure
the
as
pic.
shit.
Oh,
Bazinga! Shots fired. Clayton James. Damn
So-
it.
so you're saying you're a real man? That's what she needs to be with.
Real big man.
The other topic before we hang up the pads here is when we go back to communication, the origin of communication. And this is something I found really interesting. If anybody out there is interested in being an anthropologist or is interested in looking at the Sumerian text or things that were just a little bit older, I found this way. You don't have to go to a college anymore. You don't have to sit there and waste all your hard-earned money because UCLA has gotten together with some other entities and they've made an online cuneiform digital library. And if you're ever curious about that, all you have to do is just Google UCLA Digital Cuneiform Library.
I'm definitely checking that
And
out.
what it does is they already have all these archives from different museums of that ancient text that they had written in Sumerian and different types of language. I think Akkadian is another one.
Akkadian?
Yeah, I believe so. I could be screwing that one up. But it's fascinating to see how they've written on stones. And I've always been curious to see what are they saying. You know,
Right.
it has to be really important. Otherwise, why would you be doing that in the first place?
Setting it in stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if anyone's curious, definitely check that out. Yeah, let's see. We got a
Matt
lot
Hughes
of
says, "What's up, Troy?"
Who's that? My boy Matt. It's my boy Matt.
Brooke
Did you
even
see-
validated she
Did you
has
see
a
that
girlfriend.
fucking
in
Mustang
Texas.
Matt got?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Fuck
dude.
you, Matt, dude.
Yeah.
That's bad. Hey, I want to drive it. I'm just kidding. Hey, I want you to drive it. Wide chug beer.
So, Clay, did I ever
Naked.
ask you what your favorite form of communication was?
I say body communication.
Body.
Yeah, because
So, not going with Stuart, nonverbal.
yeah, I'm gonna go nonverbal because like, there's a lot of times like you just have that. I don't know. You have that chemistry with someone. Like you can look across them. Like I know if someone's like doing something real stupid, and I can look at Troy and be like, "Look at this."
Yeah, and we'll both start laughing, or we'll both get
Yeah.
the same idea. Yeah, no. That's what I was going for earlier when I was saying, either looking at somebody a certain way or even speaking is its own form of telepathy.
Right.
It's its own entity. Like I make these hums and noises with my throat, and I punctuate that sound with my lips and tongue, and I paint a picture in your head, like more or less from your experience.
so if
you
he's
see
talking-
exactly what I'm talking about.
If he's talking to someone and like he's right in front of me, and then Troy's facing me, and I hear some like bullshit coming out, and then I'm gonna get his attention and be like,
I've gotten that face so many times.
Where are we at as far as telepathy goes?
I think we're there, but
think we're there?
I think it's masked with other things, with other ideas of what we're actually doing with ourselves. I think we communicate mentally all the time, especially when.
Could you give a couple examples?
Yeah, let's say all four of us are at. Let's say take a stadium crowd for example.
Okay.
Everybody sees the same thing happen, and everybody more or less feels the exact same way, whether it be positive or negative. We all stand up and cheer, or we all go boo. Given on our experiences in life, we're gonna judge the same amount of emotion and feeling that from that particular instance. And like I said, like Clayton said, you can give some people certain looks, and they may not know exactly what it is you're thinking, but you're sending that energy across a room. Even 7 feet might as well be 1,000 years.
Right.
As long as you can see what I'm doing, you're going to pick up what I'm putting down. You're going to scoop what I'm poop.
Well, the problem with telepathy that I've seen is, and this goes back to the we are all one concept. If you look at it from a universal perspective now, and we're sending information, and like you just said, it doesn't matter for 7 feet to 100,000 years, would that mean that everybody's sharing information across the universe? That we're just not simply just doing it with each other
Right.
here on
Yes,
Earth?
I think so. But as far as classifying what we're trying to send, like I can't send you song lyrics that are in my head right now just by thinking it or looking at you a certain way.
Right.
But as far as
but you can
transmitting,
do a beat.
okay. But as far as like transmitting a feeling or like a notion or
Right.
like just a what the fuck am I trying to say? But you know what? That exact thing. I can make you question a certain scenario, situation, whatever, just by giving you a certain look.
But you won't be able to have that word pop into your head.
Right, exactly. But nonetheless, I felt something. I did something. You saw me. I sent an energy to you, and you responded.
Mm-hmm.
I painted something in your head, and so that in its own entity is telepathy. That is what it is. That's
Telepathy through body language is what you're saying.
Not even that. So let's say we
exactly
we,
that
we
through
both,
body language. Yes, but
Well, not even that. Let's say we both did something fucked up, and then now someone questioned us, and then you're just ratting me out, and I'm like,
Lewis says, think about the way a dog can sense the way you feel. I can scold my dog just by glancing at her. Isn't that a version of that?
well, dogs, they literally thrive on body language. That's
Right.
that's
Yeah.
mostly how they communicate. Yeah, they may bark, they may whine, they may chirp, whatever, but the 99% or 90 whatever is going to be what they pick up on your body language, and that your body is nothing but vibrations
Right.
and energy.
I don't
They
know if we
feel
could.
that.
Could we? When we start talking about telepathy, a dog senses when a human has cancer. A dog senses when a human's
PTSD.
distraught.
Yeah, PTSD. That's
So
a good
when we
one.
talk about body language, the body language seems to only go when someone, if it's being scolded or some type of negative response. Yeah, a big fuck you. But when a dog senses something, I would argue that might be telepathy. But again, I keep asking, where are we on telepathy?
Andrew says, "Nah, dog. Your dog knows when it fucks up. It knows through experience that you're gonna scold. You're gonna scold
If
it."
I see that too.
if they're
absolutely.
submissive.
Yeah, absolutely. I see
what if
that
they're
too.
the alpha? They're not going to be submissive. They're just going to be like,
So you're
cash.
saying,
Fuck you.
cash, straight up cash.
Yeah, I'm going to eat another couch, buy another one.
Yeah. He ate the couch.
No,
That
three
is,
of
that is
them.
no bullshit. He
Three of
ate the
them.
couch.
So you're saying alphas are incapable of empathy?
They're not. You ain't gonna scold them. They're gonna be like, "That's cute." Bring another couch in this bitch.
Well, here's another one. Birds.
Murphy says like when a dog senses when someone is gonna have a seizure.
Exactly.
That's definitely,
Right.
Yeah.
Or
PTSD,
earthquakes even.
seizure.
Right.
But those are working dogs. Like they know. Like
See, I want that superpower. Like when a dog or an elephant or whatever the animal is knows that there's about this. They can sense the barometric pressure drop in a tornado. They know when an earthquake,
Right.
seconds before an earthquake hits. Like, I want that.
Well, we can sense
That's
the
like
same low
we
pressure
have,
system.
empaths like that for people's emotions and stuff like
An
that.
elephant?
That's like empath.
I just don't-
what
shit
if an
out there.
elephant treated like PTSD patient like just picks your ass up? You're mine,
Rocks
bitch.
you like a baby. That's
yeah.
cool.
Well, so what about birds? When they're flying around, how do they just know how to change direction all at once? Or the same thing as a school of fish. How do they just know exactly in that
Vibration.
moment?
So they have a brain the
To
size
follow
of
that
the
pattern.
size of half of a green bean, and they use 100% of its capacity. Whereas us, we use what 10 or 7% or something of our actual full capacity of our brain.
think
Why
it's
wouldn't you use
30
dolphins? Dolphins
When they are
actually
just
have more senses than we do.
after generation after generation after generation after generation of making the same bird over and over and over again, which is what these species do. How their minds activate, their mental processing is the exact same. Like all birds across, they just know how to do it. Now we can't fathom that because we don't understand it. Our brains don't work the same way. We can't like let's say you're a bird flying in a flock of birds, and the whole thing decides to change this direction like lightning. You've seen them do it.
That would make bird hunting a lot easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Dove
exactly.
season. How
But
come they
but
keep flying
all-
over Texas?
They all adjust at the same time.
Right.
But that's just them. That's them observing and responding.
But how do
Immediately,
they
that computing speed
how
in
do
their
they
mind.
communicate all at the same time? That's my question.
Flying V, Mighty Ducks.
The flying V. I think I agree with you, Troy. Yeah, I agree with the fact. I think the smaller their brain is, perhaps that's the easiest way to use the full potential. The larger their brain is, gives a propensity for us to only use a little sliver of it,
Right.
and not really understand what the bigger picture is.
Actually, Burke's right. We have so much shit going on in our lives that our attention's so many different places.
We're not
to where, like,
concentrating on
an
what's
animal,
important.
they concentrate on survival.
That's all
it.
they have. That's all they fucking have.
Yeah.
That's all they've had in existence.
So there's no like, what am I doing tomorrow? Do I want to go to Whataburger? This chick's texting me. Do I want to go bang her? Like, there's none of that. Like, if you're a dog, you just fucking jump the fence and fucking knock
Yeah.
one out and jump the fence back and
Yeah.
done.
I,
Then
th- I
survival.
think as a species, we're all communicating telepathically, but we're not recognizing it. I think we've been doing it since the dawn of man. It's just there's different avenues, there's different ways of doing it, and there's some people pick up on it, some people don't. I think there's actually people walking around out there that can actually read minds. They're just not saying shit because
Think so?
I wouldn't say shit if I could read everybody's mind. I wouldn't say it. Think you say, hey, I know how to read minds.
I'd
and you can
always
prove
be
it.
getting laid.
The government would be at your house that
Right.
next day, and you would be in a cage, and they'd be studying you and sticking you with needles and all kind of shit. How can we weaponize this man?
You should
now?
look at
You know?
guys named like Ingo Swan.
Ingo Swan.
Ingo Swan.
I'd just
yeah.
be like, give me armor. I'll walk out and be like, fuck everybody.
He talks exactly about that same scenario, and the paranoia started when they believed the Russians had that ability. You know, like Rasputin and things. So
Yeah.
it was already in the ways that they figured out their history, because you had some very strange mystical people. But the weird part was they thought that the Russians already figured out this technology if
And
you
how to
will,
harness
and
it.
how to harness it. So they
See,
got
that's
scared.
fucked up. That's scary.
So they didn't grab these people and start jamming them with pins and needles. They started just going, "Give us something, fucker. What's going on here?"
do the trick.
Right.
So-
Do the trick, monkey.
Yeah, right.
So if you didn't think you had a mortgage, car payment, stuff like that, let's simple it back down to old school days. I bet they were way smarter than we are today because they weren't pulled in 30 different directions of like what this bill's due, this bill's due.
Right.
I mean, you just had to survive. Like you build your house.
You're talking about a simpler life.
Yeah. So like once so you're stronger when you have less to do. You're stronger on certain points.
When you're not multitasking.
Hunting,
Right.
building shit,
Focus.
protecting your family, all that. So whenever you start adding a mortgage, someone building your house, a car payment, you got gas, you got toll bills, you're being pulled in all these different directions that takes part of your time that you're not focusing
So
on
you're saying
the real shit.
multitasking.
Yeah, the more shit you add to your life, you're dumber.
There is a study about how people are not born to be natural multitaskers.
Right.
And then the more you start adding task
I wrote
after
the book.
task after task,
I wrote the book.
the human brain gets so stressed out that the blood starts pumping to different parts of the regions of the brain to where it overloads and you can't think the way you normally would.
Well, think
So you
about
don't make those
worrying.
same type of.
How much do you worry?
How much do I worry? Not very much.
Well, I mean, seriously, like over anything, family, anything in your life. How much do you worry? How much time do you spend worrying when back then all you had to worry about is taking care of your family and feeding them?
I think deep down,
I think you worried the exact same. They're just on less things. They just
But you would
those
focus
little-
more on
exactly.
those
But you're going
things.
to have the same amount of worry, that same amount of energy going to those worries. They were just
But you didn't have to.
located on smaller issues.
But
that
you wouldn't have to worry about getting
Less issues,
having
so-
gas getting to work. You're at your house. This is work. Like
Yeah,
you're
there's-
farming.
We got focus going in every which direction. These
I
days.
think you make
Now
a good point as far as people worry about their livelihood.
Yeah, everything.
They
like
worry about
their status in the herd.
where
Yeah.
the next meal's going
Right,
to come
yeah.
from.
And,
They're going to worry about, can I still keep the house that I'm living
social
in?
media.
Right.
You already know you're like my. Let's say my brother's having a hard time. Instantly, I know I'm worrying about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know about it until he's like, "Hey, everybody's dying over here. Can you help?" And like send a messenger on a horse.
Yeah.
So that's one less worry.
Carrier
So
pigeon.
you take
Right.
internet out of everything. How much worry would you really have?
I still think you would have some worry.
You would have some worry. You always will. But if you simple it down, you focus more and you are better at the things that you do
Right.
through your life.
So you're going to put the same amount of energy into,
Yeah,
into focus
actually
something,
more energy on the things that
into
you
some
focus.
other focus or discipline or issue or something else. Whatever
Instead
it
of-
is it may be. There's always going to be something on your mind that you're going to need to be doing other than what you're doing.
How many times do you focus on other
No,
people's
I
problems?
totally agree with that. The one thing that I've learned, even from just doing this is my dream. You know, I think everyone thinks that you're living a dream and that everything just happens. No. You're always constantly worrying about something else
And adapting.
And adapting. A lot of people don't think that. If you had so much money or everything was taken care of, that there's no more worry. Absolutely not. That's not how we're programmed. We are programmed to worry. We are programmed to think outside of the box about different possibilities that could happen. That goes back to our animalistic ideas as far as when we're in the forest. We need to understand this could be the last step. There might be a snake there. There might be a tiger somewhere
Right, it
else.
comes
We have
down-
to be worried about something.
when you used to only have to catch a fish to feed yourself, well, now you've got a cave woman and 2 kids. Now I've got to
Right.
catch 4 fish, and I got to
Right.
worry about how to catch 4 fish the next day, and then
Right.
the next day, and then the next day.
And these fuckers don't even know how to hunt.
And not only that,
or fish.
These little motherfucking kids, God damn it!
just to spin it back around, okay, so with communication, so you do a lot of shit, Austin. So do you, Stu, and y'all, and even Anthony does. But if let's say I just show up every time like I do, and and y'all are doing all this shit. Eventually, y'all are gonna be like, man, we do all this fucking shit. He doesn't even contribute. But if you just hold it inside, eventually it's gonna bust out, and there's gonna be anger. That
Resentment.
so it goes back to communication. If you don't voice your opinion and then you go crazy in your own fucking mind and you're like, this dude ain't doing shit, but
That's
have
why
you,
women
have you told them?
That's why women are the best communicators because they bottle it all up and they don't ever tell you about it. And
Well, no, they do tell us about it. We just don't fucking
They
listen.
tell you about it all the time.
they-
all the time.
non-verbally.
But like I'm saying, like
Until they're
if
ready
you
to
don't
let it
ever
out.
communicate, like, hey, you need to start doing more. And
If you don't get it out.
you'll start going mad in your own mind, and you're like, he ain't doing nothing. And then finally, you just lash out. That's a conflict of communication right there.
Sure.
So everything goes back to communication. If you don't voice what's going on, how is anyone else supposed to know? And that goes on the wide variety of every spectrum. Okay, think about it with wolves. What if they didn't communicate? They'd starve to death.
No, I agree. I think you make some really good points there. We're getting some interesting feedback here.
nah, Andrew's just fucking trolling. Shut the fuck up.
He is trolling like a bitch.
Shut the
I like
fuck
that.
So,
Props.
when did you find out that Murphy was pregnant?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh man,
No, this is not an announcement for little baby Stu. Just let you know. Not happening.
No, to be quite honest, guys, that was just again, if you missed it in the beginning of the show, it is Labor Day, and a woman does not go through labor until she has a pregnancy test and
It was
realizes
a
she's
horrible
pregnant.
pun.
So it was a terrible pun, a terrible joke. I take full responsibility.
Well, I mean, it just tells.
It was a good attention
It shows
grabber.
the
I mean, I
credence
saw
on
it.
our audience to really grasp that concept of Labor Day. They can really take in concepts, especially my friends. My friends are the best.
Okay, Brooke, that was a stock fucking photo. You can stop with your shit. Jesus.
Get her, Clayton.
All right, you guys have anything else?
Let's go ahead and plug Troy's stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
Plug my shit.
No,
What are you talking about?
no.
jack
you're-
of all trades.
Where could people
Jewelry
find
show,
you?
everything.
Yeah.
Where can they find your YouTube channel?
I got well, I mean, it's not much of a show anymore, but y'all
Doesn't
can
matter.
watch it if you want. It's called The Damn Kitchen. I quit doing it about 4 years ago because I
Yeah.
got tired of editing and producing and cooking and editing, and but I did it was a one man show. So I mean, it's a
If you watch the
a
episode,
labor of love.
you will beg
we like
him
to call it.
to start it
right.
again.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
then-
I'd like to restart it. I'd like to revamp it. That'd be fun.
But add you as a friend. You do a lot of jewelry. I mean,
I do a
by
lot of
hand in
rustic,
your house.
rustic trinket stuff. I work on some firearms here and there, and just kind of
Yeah, you do Cerakoting,
Duracoating.
Duracoating, and
Yes.
then a lot of actually jewelry that women would like. Matter of fact, that's the number one compliment that I every time I show a woman that they're like, "I want that," and I'm like, well, "I ain't buying that."
And do you have a website?
No, I don't have anything. I'm not advertising. The idea right now is
That's why they got to add you as a friend.
stockpile the hell out of inventory, and that way,
They
whenever
can find you on Facebook, right?
Yeah, they can find me on
Troy
Facebook.
Baker.
Well, you
Troy
got a
Baker,
good selling point if you ain't got a website.
Yeah, no. The idea was
What?
just to stockpile inventory whenever it's time to finally open an online boutique.
Right
or,
on.
you know,
I'm
a
just
little
giving
booth
you
or
shit,
something.
dude.
I got 3 to 6 months of sales, and then shell in and start making more shit again.
All right.
But
well,
you do need to post some of your pics of your guns. You do really good on guns.
Well, thank you, but I can't quite advertise that legally yet. so-
right.
Thanks
All right,
again,
well,
Clay.
Fake
Troy,
guns. Actually, no, but the lower is the gun. You do the stocks.
Yeah, I just do the stocks.
Okay, well, that's not a gun.
We'll say that.
We
All right.
really appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank
Guys,
you.
it's been awesome. I
Troy
appreciate
Baker.
it. Thanks for
Troy
everything.
fucking Baker.
Yeah, I just want to say it from the bottom of my heart. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your service and sacrifice to the country, and thanks for having me on. It's been a blast.